Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look again at Filecoin here, double checking a few things. Filecoin is one of the few coins doing very well today with a really good setup, and I can confidently say that because we've already taken a position with this coin to the upside, and I want to explain kind of why that took place, but more importantly, help you understand best practice big picture if you're kind of new to the channel. Generally like to open up with liquidation levels first before we get started, just so we can kind of get perspective on incentive for the whales to push the price action higher or lower. It kind of helps us understand and identify really key levels too for support and resistance. So I do want to say thanks again so much to my community for some really wonderful feedback. Took some nice profits here from Cardano, ICP, good 40, 53, 50 some odd percent there, and then a Polkadot long from yesterday at 21%. We've got 3 other trades, if I'm not mistaken, that are still currently in profit that are looking pretty solid here. But what we want to talk about is Filecoin, kind of focus on the back end data first and kind of work our way down. When we look at everything here, again, this last 7 days on the left and the last 30 days on the right, we can see here that there's a pretty solid amount of liquidation to the upside, a lot at down as low as 360 and 340. So again, we lose the tentative support. Basically, invalidation will be about 370 here, the local low. If the price continues to run, we might see those areas swept. But for right now, we can see a lot more liquidation to the upside, right? Each one of these bars is somewhere between 20 to 30 million. So there's a good chunk of liquidation here at this point, right? Probably a good 200 to 300 million in liquidation above the price action. The monthly tells us a very similar scenario here, just kind of compiles it a little bit easier for us. We can see what 200 million here, 200 there, 100, 100. So what that's loosely about 5 to 600 million in liquidation at upwards about $4.20. So just keep in mind this heavy liquidation area is potentially going to get swept here soon. That's not a guarantee, of course. Some people are kind of confused by liquidation. It's never a guarantee that the price is going to go to that level. It's just that market makers, they have tons of money. They set a bunch of limit orders. They push the price action to those liquidation areas. And once the opposition has been swept and there's no more, no one else to fight them, so to speak, then they can push the price and manipulate the price however they want, right? A lot of times, too, is just kind of a stop-loss hunt, which is basically just the same thing, right? So, again, that's just some back-end stuff that some people don't know. It's not a guarantee or anything. It just kind of helps us get perspective on what's going on. So if you're just strictly using one indicator, maybe you're omitting liquidation or volume, then you may want to kind of consider that because those two things really help, okay? Let's talk about that. Here's an indication of volume and how much it helps. Take a look at the money flow index, super high. Anytime the MFI is over the 4-hour or the daily RSI, it's a very good sign, showing more money flowing into the coin with less, not less interest, but less consideration for this being overbought, right? So if you see something that is being sold and you want to buy it and you can buy it, that's what you're going to do, right? That's essentially what we're seeing here right now at this coin. It seems like a good value to most people because not everybody has it right now, okay? Like Tom, Dick, and Harry doesn't have Filecoin, so people want to accumulate that. But there's a lot of people accumulating it and you don't even notice because the money flow is so high, okay? Basically just tells us with good volume, high volume, we have sustainability of price at this level. We are also breaking through or having broke through so far today on the daily, this 0.618, this resistance at 390. Okay, so 390 should be a solid support level for us because we look at the RSIs, everything's looking good here, but we also combine that with the simple moving averages. We're above the 20 and the 50. That's really a big deal for me. While we're kind of right there at the 100-day SMA, I'm not super concerned with that one. To me, the 100-day SMA is kind of it's kind of the ugly stepchild. No offense, I don't really care for it. So just you heard it today. Either way, it's still an indication of what's going on based on the last 100 days with an average. But I think the 20 and the 50 are more specifically beneficial because they help us with trends and knowing that you've shifted momentum. We've absolutely shifted momentum. We broke this descending trend line. We bullishly backtested it here at this 0.382 fib level, this basically $3.60 range, and the price hasn't looked back since. Okay, so strong likelihood we're going to see a retest of this 430, likely 420 at the very least. We take a look here, of course, in the 4-hour. We are testing 70 on the RSI-ish. We're getting close again, which basically is a resistance level, but if we break through that, the price can run. If you look at like SEI, for example, it broke through and hasn't looked back at all, right? So this coin is magnificent. A coin we barely missed our entry on, of course. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, but if you caught my video from yesterday, you'll know that this bull pennant pattern really took off. Anyways, we're not here for that, but the whole point of me mentioning that is just that you want to pay attention to the RSI. If you break through that key level resistance, there's a strong chance it's going to run. So if we see 70 plus in the RSI for Filecoin, I think the price will likely continue higher up. Okay, my money flow index is above the RSI. That's the key takeaway here, I think, as well. Extremely beneficial to see that. I like that a lot. If we take a look here, of course, at the SMAs on the daily and the 4 hour, we're above all moving averages. More specifically here on the 4 hour, the daily we're above the 50 and the 20, which is a big trend setter. We can draw out a trend line here too, just to kind of keep perspective on it. And future reference, by the way, folks, I usually post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. It looks a little something like this if you're not familiar. Just kind of giving you a heads up and considerations of what I see in the charts and where I think the coins are going to go. All right, so that's there available for you there. But I usually do that after I analyze the charts, just to kind of keep it concise here. Anyways, that's a trend line. We'll pay attention to that later. It's running concurrent with the SMAs, the 20 and the 50, as per usual. That's an important thing. We're above all those. There's no reason to consider shorting this coin. Hourly time frame, this should reiterate and reaffirm that for us, which it does. We can see our lagging spans free and clear, conversion lines over the baseline, and we're over the cloud. So pending Bitcoin doesn't make a run towards 62, 61K, we should be in good shape. In fact, if you take a look at how well Filecoin performed in the last 15, more so just say the last 4 hours, look at these last 3 candle bars, and look at these 3 here, okay? The fact of the matter is, when you see a coin outperforming Bitcoin, it's usually going to be a runner, all right? In most cases. A lot of the different factors have to exist, but Bitcoin dominance is maintaining itself at a lower range than normal, which implies that Bitcoin price going up, Bitcoin dominance going down or staying stable, tells us altcoins are going to continue to surge. So right now, it's kind of an altcoin market. Is it alt season? No, I think we're a long ways away from that. We need to see Bitcoin dominance back under 50%, maybe even 40% at the very least, but that's a conversation for another day. The conversation here is that Filecoin's absolutely looking very strong, and I would think you're going to be better off betting with it than against it, okay? So I hope this made sense and I described it correctly. Thank you again so much for joining me here, and we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, comment below if you get a chance. Deeply appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.